A factory worker confronts President Trump, and what follows silences. The entire workshop, the sound of Sanders buzzed faintly as President Donald Trump strode into the heart of a small woodworking factory in rural Pennsylvania. His unannounced visit was meant to spotlight American manufacturing in 2025. But what he didn't expect was a confrontation that would stop the entire room cold. Cameras swiveled toward him, catching every movement. Two Secret Service agents flanked him, eyes alert, scanning. Workers in dusty aprons paused mid-task, their hands hovering over chisels and sawdust-covered benches as Trump moved to the center of the room. "This," he declared, his voice booming, "is what makes America great. Real people, real work. The best craftsmanship in the world, right here." Polite claps echoed, but near a stack of half-finished chairs, Mike Harper wasn't clapping. Mike, 42, a father of 3, gripped a block of wood like a lifeline. He'd worked this factory floor for 15 years, long before campaign slogans and press visits. But these days, things were falling apart. Wages frozen, layoffs looming, bills piling up like sawdust. Mike had heard the promises before. And now, something snapped. "Mr. President," Mike called out, his voice clear and sharp, "we've heard this before. Where's the help you promised us?" The factory went silent. Tools stopped midair. Eyes turned. The Secret Service agents shifted. Trump froze, mid-sentence, and turned toward the voice. "What did you say?" he asked, eyes narrowing. Mike didn't flinch. "I said, where's the help? You said small businesses like ours would thrive. But I'm working 60 hours a week and still can't pay my bills. Some nights, my kids go to bed hungry. What are you doing about that?" Gasps whispered through the room like wind through a field. A manager glanced nervously toward Trump's staff. The camera zoomed in. Trump's team stirred, but he lifted a hand to quiet them. He took a step toward Mike, lowering his voice just enough to sharpen it. "Let me tell you something, Mike. We're doing a lot. A tremendous amount. More than anyone's ever done. We brought back jobs. Millions of them. We're protecting factories like this one. My policies are making America great again. Stronger than ever before." Mike shook his head. "Not from where I'm standing." Trump's jaw tightened. "You don't see it now, but we're laying the foundation. I've cut red tape, fought for fair trade. My paycheck hasn't moved in 5 years," Mike cut in, "but everything else has. Wood, tools, even the gas to get here. Your trade policies are making it harder, not easier." Murmurs of agreement rolled through the crowd like distant thunder. A woman in the back nodded silently. A younger worker lowered his eyes, ashamed at how familiar Mike's words sounded. Trump crossed his arms. "We've got the best trade deals we've ever had. We're putting America first. That's what I'm doing. For you." But Mike raised the piece of wood in his hand, his grip tight, voice cracking with frustration. "America first?" he echoed. "Your tariffs made this oak double in price. We can't even afford the materials we need to keep the factory running. How is that helping us?" The tension thickened. Trump's team looked uneasy. Reporters leaned in, sensing a headline unfolding. Trump's eyes locked with Mike's. "Those tariffs are tough, I know, but they're necessary. China's been robbing us blind for decades. I'm fixing that." Mike's voice wavered, raw and real. "It's not working fast enough. My family is suffering now. This factory might not make it to next year. What are we supposed to do until then?" And then, for a moment, Trump didn't respond. His arms fell to his sides. He scanned the faces of the men and women staring back at him. Not voters, not workers for a photo op, but human beings shouldering a burden. "You think I don't know what it's like to struggle, he said quietly. My father, Fred Trump, he started with nothing. He built from the ground up. I saw the sacrifices. I watched him fight to keep his business alive. Mike's expression hardened. With respect, Mr. President, you don't know what it's like to wonder if your kids will eat. You're up there making decisions, but they don't help us down here. Trump didn't flinch. He nodded slowly and took another step forward. I hear you. Really, I do. And for the first time, the room wasn't tense. It was listening. Mike didn't let up. His voice cracked through the heavy silence. That's not what I'm seeing, Mr. President. My paycheck hasn't gone up in years. But everything else, wood, tools, even the gas I need to get here, it's all skyrocketing. Your policies aren't helping us. They're making it harder. Trump crossed his arms, his stance stiffening. Look, he said, a defensive edge creeping into his tone. We're building the best economy in the world. That's a fact. We've got trade deals, brand new, better than ever, to protect American workers. We're putting America first, always first. That's what I'm doing for you. But Mike wasn't buying it. His hands trembled as he held up the rough piece of oak he'd been gripping like a shield. America first? He echoed. Those new trade policies, the high tariffs you put on imports, they're driving up the cost of everything. We can't even afford the materials we need to stay open. You say you're helping us, but it feels like you're hurting us. A ripple moved through the room. Some workers nodded quietly. Others shifted uncomfortably on their feet. A few exchanged looks, as if finally hearing their own struggles voiced out loud. Trump's eyes narrowed, but he didn't back down. Mike, I hear you. I do. But those tariffs, they're not easy. No, they're tough, but they're necessary, he said, stepping forward again. We've got to protect American industry, factories just like this one. China's been bleeding us dry for decades, and I'm putting a stop to it. I'm making sure companies stay here, where they belong, so they can hire people like you. Mike's voice wavered, raw with frustration. But it's not working fast enough. We're struggling now, Mr. President. My bills keep piling up. I'm not the only one. Look around. This factory might not survive another year. What are we supposed to do until then? Trump hesitated. His hands dropped to his sides, the fire in his voice flickering to something quieter, more grounded. He looked around, scanning the faces, men and women lined with wear, streaked with dust, worn down by promises that had come and gone. You think I don't know what it's like to struggle? He said at last, his voice softer now. My father, Fred Trump. He didn't start with millions. He started small. He worked hard. I watched him build piece by piece, fighting to keep it alive. I know what that looks like. I've lived it, and I know what it feels like to carry the weight of something you love that's slipping away. Mike shook his head, the anger still there, but dulled by exhaustion. With all due respect, Mr. President, he said, bitterness creeping into his tone, you don't know what it's like to wonder if your kids will eat dinner. You don't know what it's like to stand here with a busted back and empty pockets while Washington talks about numbers and deals. We're not living off promises down here. We're living off what's real. And right now, what's real isn't enough. Trump exhaled, running a hand through his hair. The bravado faded, replaced by something more grounded. He stepped in, close enough to look Mike in the eye, his voice steady, almost solemn. I'm making the hardest decisions of my life, Mike. These tariffs, the trade battles, they're not easy calls, but they're designed to bring jobs back, to get factories like this one thriving again. It's a fight, a big one, but we're winning. We are getting there. And believe me, I care. I care more than you know. Mike's grip on the piece of wood eased just a bit. His posture softened, if only slightly. Trump saw it, and he leaned into the moment. "I know folks are hurting," Trump continued, his voice lower now, almost personal. "I'm sorry for that. Truly. It's tough out there. For you, your families, your communities, but it won't stay like this forever. It can't. We've got to move fast, faster than ever, to rebuild, to bring pride and prosperity back. That's what I'm trying to do. For you, for all of you." Silence blanketed the room. Every worker stood still, tools idle, eyes fixed on the two men. For the first time, the shouting had stopped. Not just in the room, but inside Mike too. He gave a slow nod. Not full agreement, but understanding. His expression softened, though the fatigue of years still clung to his eyes. Then from the back of the room, someone clapped, soft at first, then another joined in. And another. Soon the factory was filled with cautious applause, workers showing respect not for a politician, but for the moment. Trump turned back to Mike, extending a hand. "What's your name?" "Mike Harper," he said, gripping it firmly. "Mike Harper," Trump repeated. "You're a good man, a hard worker. We need more of you. We're going to look into this, see what we can do. Factories like this, they matter. You have my word." He turned sharply to his team, pointing. "Get his info. We're following up, pronto." The energy in the room shifted. Some workers patted Mike on the back. Others smiled. Faint, cautious, but real. Trump gave a quick wave to the group. "We're going to make this right, folks. Better than ever. You'll see." Then, with a final nod to the Secret Service, he walked toward the factory doors. Cameras flashed as he exited, leaving behind a workshop not just full of noise and dust, but something new, something close to hope. Mike stood there, the piece of wood still in hand. His shoulders were still heavy, but in his eyes, for the first time in a long time, there was a flicker of something else. Relief, maybe even belief. If this moment moved you, hit that subscribe button for more powerful stories that leave a mark. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you have said if you were in Mike's shoes?